The best international advice for your success starts now.
You think you know cruelty. You don't. Cruelty wears a face you kiss goodnight. Cruelty has a voice that once whispered, "I love you." Cruelty has keys to your house. Cruelty knows exactly where you hide your insecurities, because you handed her the map one night when you felt safe, and she folded that map carefully, and she placed it in her pocket, and she smiled. You still don't understand why the wound never closed. You've had years, decades, therapists, books, late-night drives where you screamed alone in the car. And still, the moment someone gets too close, you flinch, not because you're weak, because you learned early that proximity is a weapon, that love is not the antidote to pain. Love is the delivery system. Let's stop pretending this is about enemies. Enemies can't destroy you. You expect the dagger from an enemy. You brace for it. You wear armor. But the ones who love you, they hold your face in their hands. They look into your eyes. They say you're safe. And then so slowly, so tenderly, that you thank them while you bleed. Why? Not because they're evil. Evil would be easier. Evil you can hate and walk away, but they're not evil. They're human, broken, hungry, terrified. And you happen to be close enough to absorb what they couldn't hold inside themselves. You became the container for their unprocessed pain, their silent shame, their quiet self-hatred dressed up as concern for your life. Your mother, your father, the friend who knew everything, the person who swore they'd never become their parents and then became something worse without noticing. They didn't love you despite hurting you. They hurt you through love. Love was the alibi. Love was the justification. How can you be angry? They only wanted what's best. They only worried. They only sacrificed so much. They only destroyed your sense of self-worth one comment at a time over 15 years. But they meant well. Meaning well is the most efficient murder weapon ever invented. Here's the truth. No one speaks at dinner tables. The people who love you have the most to lose by your independence. Your strength terrifies them. Your healing insults their suffering. If you get better, what does that say about them? If you break the cycle, their entire life becomes an indictment. So they will sabotage you, not consciously, not with evil laughter in a dark room. Consciously, they want you to succeed. But underneath the conscious mind, in the basement, where the real decisions are made, there's a different agenda. Keep them close. Keep them small. Keep them needing me. Keep them where I can control the distance. And so the tiny cuts begin. That outfit, interesting choice. I could never pull that off, but you're brave. Are you sure you want to pursue that career? I just don't want you to be disappointed. Oh, you're crying? I was only joking. You're so sensitive. You've always been so sensitive. Remember when you were 6 and you cried about the butterfly? We laughed about that for years. It was funny. Why aren't you laughing? Gaslighting isn't always screaming. Sometimes it's a smile. Sometimes it's a sigh. Sometimes it's the way she pauses before saying your name. That pause, that microscopic hesitation. That's where the poison lives, and only you can hear it. Others would call you crazy. You have been called crazy, too emotional, too dramatic. You're imagining things. She loves you. Look at everything she's done for you. Yes, look at everything she's done for you. The sacrifices, the sleepless nights, the money spent, the years given. Now you owe her. Now you can never complain. Now any attempt to set a boundary is betrayal. You ungrateful child, after everything. Love is debt. Love is control. Love is a cage with a door slightly open just so you can see the outside world, but never reach it without guilt tearing your legs apart. Let me tell you a story. Do not look away. There was someone I knew years ago. We'll call her Clara, not her real name. Clara had a mother who adored her. Adored, that's the word everyone used. Her mother would call her every single night. And Clara would answer, always, because if she didn't, there would be silence the next day. The heavy kind, the kind that fills a room like smoke, and then the questions. Was I a bad mother? Did I do something wrong? I just worry. You're all I have. Clara was 32. She had a partner. She had a life. But every night at 9 o'clock, the phone rang and she became 14 years old again. Small, monitored, owned. One night the phone rang during dinner. Clara stared at the screen. Her partner watched her. Clara's hand hovered. She didn't answer. Then she did something strange. She started shaking, not crying. Shaking, her whole body trembling like an animal caught in a trap. "Why are you shaking?" her partner asked, and Clara whispered something I will never forget. She said, "I can feel her disappointment through the phone. It's silent, but I can feel it. It's inside me. It's always been inside me." The phone stopped ringing. Clara stared at it. Then she picked it up and called back. Her voice was cheerful, bright. "Hi, Mom. Sorry, I was in the bathroom. Everything okay?" She was smiling, but her eyes were somewhere else entirely, somewhere far away, where a child version of herself was still waiting for permission to exist. That's the violence I'm talking about. No bruises, no police reports. Just a woman in her 30s trembling because she didn't answer a phone call. Just a lifetime of invisible wounds that no one validates, because love was the weapon, and love is never questioned. You have a version of this. You may not call it abuse. It might not have a name yet, but you know the feeling, the stomach drop, the sudden exhaustion when a certain name appears on your screen, the way you rehearse conversations before they happen, the way you manage their emotions, curate your personality, shrink your truth, all to avoid the punishment of their pain. And the punishment is always their pain. You hurt me. You disappointed me after everything I've done. This is the core. The people who love you most hurt you deepest because they have access to parts of you that no one else can reach. They installed the buttons. They know the codes. They built the architecture of your guilt before you had language to question it. And they will use that architecture, not because they're monsters, because they're wounded people who never face their own darkness. And your light reminds them of everything they buried. And here's the darkest part, the part you don't want to hear. You will do it too. You already have. Think of someone who trusted you, someone who gave you their vulnerable truth at 2 a.m. Did you hold it carefully or did you file it away? Did a moment ever come during an argument when you reached for that truth and used it? Just a little, just enough to win, just enough to wound. You told yourself they deserved it. You told yourself you were just being honest, but you knew. In the silence after, you knew what you did. You used love as a weapon because you learned from masters, because it was done to you, because we become what we don't heal. This is the cycle, not dramatic evil. Just ordinary, devastating human pain passed from body to body like a genetic disease of the soul. The abused becomes the abuser not through violence, but through intimacy, through not knowing any other way to be close, through confusing control with care, ownership with love, submission with respect. So what do? Not what the self-help books say, not forgive and forget. Forgiveness without boundaries is just permission for more damage. And forgetting is a lie your brain tells you to survive. You stop explaining, stop justifying, stop hoping they'll finally understand. They won't, not because they can't, because understanding would require them to feel the full weight of what they did. And that weight would crush them, so they will never feel it. And waiting for them to feel it is waiting for water to rise from a dry well. You don't need their remorse to heal. You need your own anger. The clean, precise anger you've been afraid to touch. Not rage that destroys, anger that clarifies, anger that draws a line. This far, no further. I will not be your container anymore. I will not carry what you refuse to face.
Whatever might face, subscribe for daily spiritual motivation.